All right, looks like we're live, folks. Welcome to Gamcast. We're here to talk today about the resigning DOJ prosecutors in New York over the Trump's decision to end the lawfare against Mayor Adams. And the left, as per usual, is spinning these people as heroes. And sadly enough, folks, a lot of people on the so-called quote-unquote conservative Republican or quote-unquote our side also don't seem to get it. I mean, they're just stuck in 2016 and 2020. Anyway, here's Caitlin Collins trying to spin it as the White House trying to distance themselves. And then, of course, they always have to throw in this. Just take a listen to her view. And this is the meeting where Bove came in and said, listen, we need to dismiss these charges. And if you're not on board with this, then you probably need to just resign, right, or do your job. Again, these are prosecutors in the Southern District of New York. And for those of you who aren't lawyers or don't follow politics all that closely, you have to understand that that is probably one of the most coveted Department of Justice posts because New York, the Southern District of New York has New York City. It is a huge jurisdiction, and you got a lot of action up there. D.C. may be the only one that can compete with it. But anyway, here's what happened in the meeting, according to the left, which obviously is lies.
We've also learned more about that meeting that the acting Deputy Attorney General, Emil Bove, had with the Justice Department's Public Integrity Section this morning. A person familiar with the meeting tells us that Bove was combative and condescending as he was...
He was combative and condescending. Now, they're not combative and they're not condescending because they're refusing to follow the orders and do their job.
Lecturing the public integrity lawyers about...
And they're lecturing the public integrity lawyers, you see. It's not that the public integrity lawyers are lecturing their boss about whether things should work.
Leadership and loyalty.
Anyway, folks, so here's a couple other things that are breaking out on this. And no, come on, don't tell me that I did that. How in the world did I do that? That was not what's supposed to be the click there. All right. I can find it real quick. Boom. It would be in my feed. So it would be, where was it? Yeah. Okay. So people on the quote unquote conservative side still don't understand what's going on. So here's Ross Doddett. Okay. I'm going to blow it up. Losing competent lawyers for some dubious thing the president wants was always going to be a risk for a Trump DOJ. But losing him in the first month for the sake of Eric Adams. Now, he is supposedly a conservative columnist. Brit Hume has come in on this. Folks, the case against Mayor Adams was nothing more than lawfare, period, end of story. He pushed back against the illegals, and Biden decided to cook up these charges. How do you know it's lawfare? What was he accused of? What did he supposedly do? You can't do it. Felonies or crimes are one word: murder, arson, theft, burglary. Simple. Boom. You know what it is. When you have to come up with, well, he did something and somehow he got some upgrades on some flights and I'm not really, you have no idea what's going on. It's nonsense lawfare. But here's the bigger point. Okay, Ross, you're assuming that these are great lawyers. Why do you assume that? Why do you think they're great lawyers? They can't follow a basic idea here. All right. But losing them in the first month for the sake of Eric Adams, right? Well, my response to that was, well, how do you know they're supposedly so competent, right? But why would you, if you were one of these people, why would you give up the coveted posts of being involved in the Southern District of New York for a two-bit prosecution of Mayor Adams, right? In other words, I'm going to spend the next 4 years doing great things in the greatest district, if not maybe certainly top 3 in the country, and I'm going to resign over this case? I mean, I could understand if it was a bigger case or something, but it's not. It's a nonsense. They had no intention of staying. They were all there to sabotage. They were all happy about lawfare, and they just picked this as an opportunity to leave because they were leaving anyway. That's the point. They weren't going to stay. They're embedded fascists. They were going to be a thorn in Trump's side, and thank God they were dumb enough to, reveal themselves so early, right? And again, so the other thing I wanted about people like Ross Doddett is you got to understand, you still have no idea about lawfare. Where was Ross Doddett when Biden prosecuted his political opponent? Let's set that aside. Where was he when he prosecuted not people that were quote-unquote violent on January 6th, but when you get to 1,600 folks, do you realize you're prosecuting people who weren't even at the rally? Okay? Never went into the Capitol, were never violent at all? Absolutely. They were going to jail. Okay, let's set that aside. Let's say you believe January 6th and you don't think it's a hoax. It is, but let's say you don't believe that. Okay, what about putting in jail people who were outside of abortion clinics 100 feet, 100 yards away, not bothering anybody? Okay, you know what? You don't like abortion, or you whatever. You don't like pro-lifers, so you decide, I'm not going to draw the line there. Okay, fine. What about people who went after people who posted memes and they were locking them up? Right? At what point are you conservatives, quote unquote conservatives like Brent Hume and Ross Doggett, going to realize you're being played? Right? These people, so-called heroes, they don't say a word when that's happening. That's got no problem with that. But then all of a sudden, when Trump decides to dismiss 2-bit charges against the mayor of New York, oh my God. Oh, the horror of the whole thing. It's just nonsense. But anyway, folks, don't fall for the hoax. You're going to see a lot more of these people as Trump goes forward, decide to quote-unquote resign, and they're all for the rule of law. They're nothing but embedded fascists. Good riddance. Happy to get away, get rid of them soon. And don't fall for it. So anyway, if you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you do, you'll see them on the next one, which should be tomorrow. But if not, tomorrow, certainly Monday.